Gojo versus Makima. The hacks cheating jackass with a god complex so fucking massive that he literally quotes Buddha, and the psychotic hoe biscuit who acts like a dominatrix but in truth wants to be dominated by the hero of hell. One of the most weirdest debates I've ever seen, not because it's bad or anything, but just because one of these fan bases is incapable of fucking reading. Let's see who wins this. Starting off with Makima, you can argue she's stronger than the Gun Devil, who practically blitzed over the damn planet, killing about 1.2 million people, destroying multiple cities while doing so. And the actual speed feat is around Mach 489.52, and this is actually pretty easy to calculate yourself because you have the exact distance and the time frame for it. And she blasted the hero of hell, Kushida, into space and visibly hurt the Darkness Devil when she encountered him. So you can argue she's multi-city level and massively hypersonic levels of speed. And her hacks is basically her controlling people she believes is inferior to herself. She also has several contracts with other people and has a contract that pretty much prevents her from dying after she made a deal with the Prime Minister of Japan. If she is targeted or if someone practically shoots her in the fucking face, that injury will be traded to someone else and she gets to survive. Now with Gojo, there's actually quite a bit of things to cover, starting with his infinity. So this is a divergence of an infinite series based on the Achilles and the tortoise. Think of mathematics and the fact no matter how many times you try to divide a number, it never actually gets reduced to zero. And over time, it'll become a fraction so impossible to perceive due to it being divided infinitely. That's the infinity. In other words, you could attack Gojo, but that attack would be constantly divided by an infinite set of times, and it will be as if you stopped. And he's also got Lapse Blue, which is basically a smaller planetary devastation, kind of like what Pain does. It's basically attraction. And his Reversal Red is basically the opposite, it's repulsion. And it not only fucked up an entire forest when it sent Jogo flying, but it actually fucked up Toji and destroyed a massive building. I think it was a building, but yeah. He also has the ability to heal himself with Reverse Curse Technique. This multiplies the negative cursed energy and makes positive cursed energy, which reconstructs his body. And it also prevents him from going brain dead when he constantly uses his infinity and other techniques. And with his 6 eyes, he can make sure that any energy or cursed energy he uses is infinitesimally close to zero, so he doesn't necessarily run out. He also has teleportation, which he uses in his battle with Sukuna and against Gojo. No, not Gojo, Jogo, my bad. But yes. And there is also Hollow Purple, which is basically imaginary mass. Knowing what imaginary mass is, we can assume this attack will be faster than light due to tachyons. And seeing how it is literally imaginary mass, one could even argue it bypasses conventional durability and erases one's existence due to how antimatter and matter works. And in this case, the imaginary mass would be what was considered antimatter, if that makes sense. Now, for one of the biggest things for Gojo is his domain expansion, the Infinite Void, which is basically an infinite set of information is literally forced onto somebody, overloading their senses and making them immobile. And Gojo can keep doing this until they go completely brain dead and dies, or until he feels like stopping it. Not to mention with domains, like if someone, not only do they get a stat boost within their own domains, they actually, none of their attacks will miss, especially ones infused with like cursed energy and whatnot. It's very important. Now, to actually talk about Gojo's attack power and speed is actually quite simple. For example, we have Damon, a special grade curse who made an entire tropical island using his own domain expansion. Domain expansion is when one constructs their innate domain with cursed energy and manifests it with their cursed technique. And we know how people use cursed energy to enhance their own durability and strength. Now think about this. If I myself create a planet, I would have to exert from my body the joule amounts needed to create an entire planet. And there will be a counterforce coming right back at me. In other words, I would need planet level durability to withstand my own creation of power. This is also supported by Newton's third law. And we know Jogo was more powerful than Damon as well as other special grades, and Gojo with his raw power and no infinity was able to practically toy with them. Like, he was beating their ass with his bare hands. He literally killed one of them, actually, after ripping his fucking horns or tree roots out of its fucking head. And we can easily assume Gojo from this alone is a decent amount above island level, and if you really enjoy calculations, you can even find one that will get him a decent amount above country level. As for speed, he's massively above Maki, who caught a bullet, and I've seen calculations getting this anywhere between Mach 19 and Mach 90, depending on whether or not you're using the anime or the manga. And there are other things later in the manga that proves faster and light scaling, but for the sake of anime watchers, I won't spoil it for now. But you could also just say Gojo scales to his own hollow purple, which due to tachyons is faster than light. That could be a little bit of headcanon, but there is actual scaling that would get Gojo faster than light, so let's just use that at this point. Now, for who actually wins this fight, it's pretty clear who wins if you've actually been paying attention. Gojo is about to beat the fuck out of this poor Hobiscuit. She would literally be incapable of taking control of him because of his superior speed and power. Because it would just like blatantly overwhelm her and make it clear that he is not inferior to her. One could also mention her contract with the Prime Minister of Japan. However, it is good to mention that she wasn't confident that she could actually survive being ate by the hero of hell, who literally erases people on a conceptual level. So we don't know if she can actually survive being erased. In other words, Hollow Purple may just straight up one-shot her and she would be fucking gone. And she doesn't actually have any evidence showing she can regenerate from things like that, and we have the statements from Denji, and, well, the hero of hell, not Denji, but yeah, you get my point. So it would be a no-limits fallacy to assume that she could regenerate just from anything, or pass it on to somebody else. And you could also argue that Gojo could fucking teleport her away and imprison her, and while that is iffy, there's also domain expansion if he feels he needs to do it. Not to mention, she literally has 0 win conditions on him, as he's got, like, damn near infinite cursed energy thanks to his 6 eyes. He's not running out of stamina. Her little fucking cronies that she has with her, they're not going to be able to do shit, and he'll take them all out as well. So yeah, she has 0 win conditions. He has a couple of them. He can just, like, fucking kill everybody in Japan, I guess, if you want to argue he's bloodlusted, or you can just say Purple one-shots her and she can't regenerate from that. But yeah, anyways, I feel like I did pretty good on this video. Check my description out, like, comment, subscribe. Also, it's good to keep in mind that she does want to be dominated by the Chainsaw Man and eaten by him, but it turns out she's being eaten by Gojo Satoru instead. Have fun with that.